So I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and he's also trying to get into YouTubing, and he sees my videos on my channel, and he likes it a lot. And he doesn't know anybody. He doesn't know any YouTubers or anything of that sort except me. So we always have these conversations, and I'd like to encourage him to also have a YouTube account, and he's really looking into it. So this video is going to be about sound design, or at least sound that I was trying to explain to him. I thought that many people know about stuff like this. I really thought people just knew about stuff like this. And I realized from my conversation with him that not everybody knows this. In case if you're wondering why I have a book, is that this is my video book. That means when I have ideas, when I'm watching YouTubers, if I see anything that I like, I don't try to commit it to memory. I don't want to use my brain as a filing cabinet. I like to put things in a book, so when I have free time or any kind of moments, I can sit down and just kind of like go through my book, feel kind of inspired, look at something that I wrote, and say like, oh wow, that's pretty interesting. I don't remember that one, but that's nice. So I like it. So I wrote about the sound over here. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so this is my page on sound. And so I'm just basically going to talk about just a few things. I'm not going into detail, and I don't want you to think that I am some kind of expert, because I'm learning this stuff even from somebody else or watching many people talk about things. I do watch a lot of videos from movie makers, so when they explain certain things, I do write it down. So this is my sound page. So this is what it is. Let's say if you look at this situation right now, okay, like my setting right now, I have a light over here, and I have an accent light over there, so it gives me lighting on two sides. And so that's my basic setup. And then I have a camera over there, all the way over there, and then I have a microphone over here. So I'm not using the microphone from my camera. I'm using an extension wire, and I have a microphone right over here, which is the Rode Micro, which is right over here. Now, when I'm recording this in my studio right now, when I'm recording this, all the sounds that's going on around me is natural sounds. Okay, this room is not sound treated. It's not like any like professional kind of setup where the outside sound is totally drowned out or something like that. If there's a car going by, you might be able to hear the sound. My neighbor has a rooster. Yeah, my neighbor has a rooster. So the rooster is, obviously making sound. I do have cats in the house. Right now they're not in the room, but early in the morning they were in the room making such a racket because I was trying to record this earlier today, and the cats was simply overwhelming my whole sound thing. All the sound that you hear right now, I mean, this is a true sound that is being recorded truly by this microphone. This sound that you see or you hear with me, like when I'm speaking and you hear this sound, this is known as diegetic sound. That means this is the normal sound, and I wrote my notes over here, is what the people in the story hears. So that means I'm here, and this is what I hear. So this is known as diegetic sound, okay? Then there's another one that is known as non-diegetic sound. That means it is sounds that I will add on in the production. That means I will add those sounds later on. Like for example, right now I have no music playing, but in my production, what I'm going to do is I'm going to suddenly play some music in the background. So you hear that music? See, that music was added on later. I did not have music play in my room. I added that music later in the production. So now that is known as non-diegetic sound. Okay, so it is, I wrote my notes here as sounds to support the scene or the story. And in other words, it's for audience ears only, because the actors actually don't really hear it. So that means when I am recording this, the music was not really playing. My job is simply to record the video and to record my voice and what I'm saying and stuff like that. And any extra noise later, I will add it. Now, for example, let's say if I close the book, right? Okay, you heard that, I closed the book. Now, if I take my notebook and if I throw it a little bit down, if I drop it, you'll be able to hear it because the microphone is right there. So if I do that, like, you heard that sound. So that is diegetic sound. That means this is the sound that the microphone is picking up right now as I did it. However, if I want non-diegetic sound, that means I want to be a little bit dramatic with the drop of my book. I don't want to use the sound that my book made. I will add another sound in the editing just to give it a little bit more dynamic. So that means Now I'm going to drop my book, and you're going to hear the sound. Okay, so I did not take the sound from here. I took the sound from somewhere else. So you could see how much effect it makes, right? So even if I was using a keyboard, and if I was just, clicking, yeah. Okay, this is the sound that you're hearing from this microphone. However, I could make the sound a little bit more interesting, a little bit more better by actually bringing in sound files, sound effects files, so that when I'm typing, it sounds a little bit more better. Because remember, sound effects, when people who make these sound effects, and they record these sounds using incredible microphones. I mean, they use expensive gear to really get those sounds down, and then they sell it to you. I'm using Artlist, so I use all my sounds from Artlist. And sometimes I will try my own sound, like I will position my microphone, but I try not to do that as much, just because there are people out there who are already sound designers, and they really use incredible equipment and sound software to really make those sounds. So what I will do is I will go into Artlist, and by the way, you can go into any music service and everybody will have this, and you go into Artlist, and I go into Artlist, and then I will just take those sound, and then I will layer it on top of it just to punch it up a little bit. Like, for example, see, like in this room right now, my cats are not here, but I could pretend that I have cats walking around and meowing a little bit. See, there's no cat, but you're thinking, oh, he must have a cat in the room because I just heard a cat sound. But there's no cat in the room. So those sounds are non-diegetic. That means you can bring the sound later on in your production. So when you are making a video, of course, you don't need to go into all these really extra sound effects and stuff like that. You can simply record having a nice microphone and a camera, and you'll be really very fine. I mean, you'll be perfectly okay. However, I will insist, look into this extra sound effect things, because if you pepper salt this sound here and there in your movie, the quality will just go up a little bit more. What is very important about when you add sound is use headphones. And this is something that even I'm learning the hard way, because I'm trying to practice it to make sure that I don't overdo it. Is sometimes when you add sound, you tend to want to punch it up too high. You're like, oh, I'm adding the sound, I want everybody to make sure. You know what? You don't need to do that. You just put the sound there and kind of like go down the level a little bit, balance it out. People will be able to hear the sound. They will be able to hear the sound. You don't need to accent it too much. Not unless if you're making some kind of dramatic movie and scene, and like tan, 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 and all that stuff, like then of course you probably want to punch the sound up. But otherwise, you really don't need to do it. Remember, you have diegetic sound, which is the sound that you record, and then you have non-diegetic sound, which is the sound that you don't record. So thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. For you dropping by, watching this video. I hope you learned something. If there's something you want to ask me, you can always make comments in the comment section, and of course I will help you as best as I can. Thank you, and bye-bye.